Good morning, students. Uh, Today, we will look at revenue concepts. And looking at revenue concepts, we'll be interested in total revenue, average revenue, and marginal revenue for this lesson. So this is how we are going to proceed with it. There will be an introduction. Then we'll look at the concept of total revenue, average revenue, marginal revenue. We look at tables to show the different types of revenues. So we have seen that cost of production is the expenditure that is incurred in producing a good. So when somebody is producing a good or a service, he spends some money, he incurs some expenditure. That expenditure, we have described it as cost of production. When a firm produces a good and sells it, the firm gets money. That is what we call the revenue of the firm. So the revenue of the firm, on the other hand, is the income or receipt it gets from selling its product. So we'll be examining the revenue concepts after this. The first of such a concept is the concept of total revenue. And the total revenue is the total amount of money a firm receives from the sale of its product. If the price of a product does not change, it is the same for all units, then the total revenue is equal to the quantity sold times the price of the product. I'll give an example. If a firm produces and sells 1,000 loaves of bread, and each loaf of bread sells at 100 francs each, then its total revenue will be 10,000 times 100 francs, which is 1 million francs. We look at the concept of average revenue. The average revenue is the total revenue divided by the number of units sold. So you take total revenue and divide by the number of units sold, you have the average revenue. And from what we said, if you do that, you arrive at the price of the product. Therefore, the average revenue corresponds to the price of the product. Under perfect competition, the price is constant, and the average revenue will also be constant. Under imperfect competition, like monopoly, we're going to see all these market forms, the price must fall for more to be sold, and the average revenue falls as more is produced. We can look at the situations on the following graph. So for perfect competition, the price and average revenue are constant, and they are a straight line parallel to the quantity axis. For imperfect competition, the price must fall for sales to increase, so the average revenue falls with quantity. Then we look at the concept of marginal revenue. Marginal revenue is the additional income derived from the sale of one additional unit of a good or service. It is the extent to which total revenue changes when sales are changed by 1 unit. So you increase sales by 1 unit, your total revenue will change. The change in total revenue as sales are increased by 1 unit is called marginal revenue. You obtain it by subtracting the total revenue of the previous output from the total revenue of the output. Under perfect competition, marginal revenue is equal to the price of the product, because any additional sales of a unit of output will increase sales or will increase revenue by an amount which equals the price of the product. Under imperfect competition, marginal revenue is always lower than price. The reason is that under imperfect competition, the price must fall for sales to increase. We see this in the diagrams below. So this perfect competition, the average revenue is the same as price, because when you increase sales, you get income which equals the price of the product, because the price is constant. But for imperfect competition, to increase sales, price must fall. Therefore, any additional sales bring in money which is less than the price. That's why marginal revenue is always below the price line. We look at table to show different kinds of revenue, and we look at the one of perfect competition. So this is the demand or the output. Price remains the same. Total revenue is price times output. 10 times 1 is 10. 10 times 2 is 20. 10 times 3 is 30. 10 times 4 is 40. Average revenue is total revenue divided by quantity. 10 divided by 1 is 10. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 30 divided by 3 is 10. 40 divided by 4 is 10. Marginal revenue is the additional to total revenue as sales increase by 1 unit. So when sales increase from 1 to 2, total revenue will increase from 10 to 20. The increase is 10. When sales increase from 2 to 3, total revenue will increase from 20 to 30. Average revenue, so marginal revenue is 10. Average revenue is 30 divided by 3, as we have said, which is 10. When sales increase from 3 to 4, total revenue will increase from 30 to 40. And you see that marginal revenue remains constant at 10, 10, 10 at all levels of output. So we have made that comment below there. Then we look at the situation under imperfect competition. For imperfect competition, the price must fall for sales to increase. So because of that, 10 times 1, we have 10. 8 times 2, we have 16. 3 times 7, we have 21. 6 times 4, 24. You see the total revenue is changing. Average revenue is total revenue divided by demand or output. 10 divided by 1 is 10. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 21 divided by 3 is 7. 24 divided by 4 is 6. When you examine average revenue, you see it corresponds to the price. Marginal revenue is the change in total revenue. When sales increase by 1, total revenue will increase to 10. Marginal revenue is 10. When sales increase to 2, total revenue is 16. Addition to revenue is 6. When you move from 2 to 3, total revenue will increase to 21. Addition to revenue is 5. When sales increase to 4, total revenue will increase to 24, and the marginal is 3. So you see that the marginal revenue is constantly falling, and everywhere it is less than price, except for the first level. Marginal revenue everywhere is less than the price of the product. So those are the commentaries below the curve, below the table. So we have come to the end of the revenue concepts, and your take-home assignment is to copy and complete the following revenue schedule of a firm. Figures are in millions of francs CFA. That is the table. Is the revenue schedule above that of a firm of a perfectly competitive firm or of an imperfect market? Explain your answer. Is the revenue that you have feel that of a firm in a perfect market or in an imperfect market? Thank you once more for listening. Have a nice day.